Hello, and welcome to all my beautiful, vibrant hearts and ephemeral souls who are Scorpio suns, have big Scorpio placements, or are cross watchers for Scorpio. Welcome to your month ahead messages looking at the month of April 2025. I almost said 2027. So some of you're starting something new that will have far-reaching effects possibly for the next few years. But yeah, I'm excited. We're going to get into it. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to use the Oracle deck. Sorry if you can hear my stomach grumble. I just ate some snacks. I'm going to use the Oracle deck to get your overarching themes and messages for the month ahead. I will then use the tarot to clarify and get further details. So yeah, with that, let's get into it. Alrighty, Spirit, what can my little Scorpio friends expect? Some of you have a friend that's going to be just like really showing up. I'm getting this energy of like on your team and in your corner this month. You're going to have like a buddy to hang out with. I didn't want to take this card, but I did want to look. So we have death, the eternal cycle begins here. This in the tarot would be the Scorpio card. So you guys are in this transformative energy right now. I know you swim around in those waters. You like it. But it might be very, very heavy this month in particular. You guys, I can't get this little bit of hair to cooperate. It's fine. Something either has ended or is ending, right? Okay, and we have Barnbrack at the bottom with sweetness and synergy. I do feel like there will be synergy that's kind of taking place again, right? Some of you have ended something so you can experience more harmony in your life. Some of you, I'm getting like this like almost bittersweet ending, right? There's something where it's like, I know this isn't for me anymore, but you know, some of you are graduating or you're preparing to graduate. And so you're in that energy of like, oh, I'm glad that I'm letting this go, but I'm also going to miss it. Or, you know, I really liked this, but it was really stressful. There's kind of this mixed bag sort of feeling here. I'm going to take a sip of my tea real quick. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. So I am kind of getting that energy. I do also feel, like I said, you will have friends that are like a specific friend that's really going to be on your team and in your corner. This person might be kind of like, not necessarily quirky, but they're a little funky. They're a little weird, but in a good way. Eight of Pentacles. Some of you are going to be focusing a lot on work. Some of you, there's a sense that you've put a lot of work into something and that's what's ending. There's a culmination. There's almost like a graduation energy. I wouldn't be surprised if the world comes out at some point. Seven of Cups. So yeah, it feels like there's, you know, some of you, it's like you've put a lot of work into something and it's ending. And so now it's kind of like, well, now what do I do? Some of you, it's like, there's an energy of what did it all mean? But for others of you, there's kind of just like a mix of emotions. That's what I'm getting. There's a lot of like mixed emotions around whatever this shift in your life is. One era ends. Okay, interesting. I just did Tauruses and this card came out. We have the future. So pretty clearly off the bat, you know, and I love how a card can come out in multiple readings, but it has different energies. You guys are being, you know, undeniably pushed into your future. And I think like that's something that even if you don't know what it looks like, you know that it's happening. And there might be some uncertainty. There might be, y'all might be feeling a little bit, excuse my burp, a little scared. But the future is here to greet you. Be conscious of the words you speak, especially this month. I'm getting the sense that like your words will materialize. You know, and that's always the case, but like very heavily this month. So be really, really conscientious. I'm getting like this image of like rain hitting the ground and then immediately flowers springing up. So there's something here where whatever you have to say will materialize. So there's a need to speak consciously, well, you know, think consciously as well, but speak carefully about what you would like to experience. King of Wands in reverse. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles. And the Four of Cups reversed. Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking about, like, this combination. If they had been like this is like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing a really good job. So you guys could be kind of in this other place where, like, yeah, it's the mirror opposite. So again, it feels like you guys this month, this could be something where you could have a falling out with a Leo. We also have Capricorn here. You could be having a falling out with a boss. You could be going your own way. if you had like a shared project with somebody. But what I'm getting more than anything else is that there's this feeling, I feel like this is from you guys, there's this feeling where it's like, and we'll clarify everything in a moment, but there's a feeling of not feeling confident. It's like, I know I'm being pushed into the future, right? So when this card came out for Taurus, I almost got the sense that they were chomping at the bit, like, let me at it, let me jump into the future, right? They had a bunch of pages, there's a lot of like fresh energy, they're getting into it. You guys, I almost kind of get this feeling where you're being kind of like, almost like your spirit guides are behind you, like pushing you into the future. And it feels like you guys have or had a plan, but you're not so confident in it anymore. A lot of you guys, it's like something has, I'm hearing the word breached, but something may have ended or might be halted, might be on the back burner, and there's a sense of like almost the desire to like keep doing what you're doing, right? To have some sense of normalcy. Some of you are having to like entertain a new normal with the Knight of Pentacles, but there's this feeling with the King of Wands in reverse of like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not confident with this. And while I was moving the cards around, the King of Wands kept like kind of almost wanting to turn itself upright, but it didn't. So there's like a lot of confidence. And what your guides want you to know first and foremost with the Four of Cups in reverse is that that's okay. The Four of Cups in reverse to me is like you're finally acknowledging your feelings. Before, because we have to be able to process and acknowledge all of our feelings before we can kind of, emotionally open ourselves up to more, right? To that extra cup that the universe is trying to offer us. So this is going to be a month where it's kind of like, I'm going to try to cling to some kind of routine, some kind of familiarity, or I'm going to stick to the plan that I had, even though I don't know what's happening. I don't feel confident, and that's okay. What's the King of Wands in reverse? The Two of Swords. Yeah, this feels like this is more your energy. What's the Knight of Pentacles, please? The Lovers. Okay. And the Four of Cups in reverse. The Hermit. Okay. The Four of Swords at the bottom, so repeating fours are significant here. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge again, what's going to be really important, pardon my itchy nose, this month is that you get time to yourself to be able to process your feelings. Go within in those moments where you feel like you don't know what comes next or you don't know what to do. Because there's something here, I'm noticing the book in her hands on the Four of Cups, right? And again, with that Knight of Pentacles, there's something here where you had a plan. It's like, oh, I know how the story goes, right? And the story is changing, right? Either a chapter is ending and it's like, oh, I don't, when you're reading a book and it's like, it was a really intense part of the book and you're like, hang on, I gotta like take a breather. I gotta have a palate cleanser before I go in for the next one. Or even like, if you finish a book and you need a little bit of time before you kind of delve into a new story. There's kind of this sense of like, I either don't know what happens next or like I finished one story and now like I'm going to have to prepare to start a new one and to be a new version of myself. So I see that this is going to be a time to really like process a lot. There's also a lot here about who you were in that old story and who you are becoming in your new story. And I talk a lot about that in coaching with people where I call it character work. If you guys want to know more about it, it's a really pivotal part of the transformation process, and it's very, very effective. I use it all the time in my own life. I've used it to overcome some really, really big changes in my life. But one of the deepest things that keeps us repeating old cycles or that prevents us from moving forward is the sense of a loss of identity. And so being able to process that perceived loss of identity in a healthy way and in an empowered way can make a really, really big difference when we're making major changes in life. So if you guys want to know more about that, let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate video. But that's what I feel like is happening here, right? Is that you guys are trying to figure out what way to move forward with the Two of Swords. See how in this version, right, she's drawn the arrow back, but the arrow has fallen down here. This, for me, this version of the Two of Swords, there's like a misalignment of intentions, right? Either due to a lack of understanding, a lack of information, or even just like a misaligned perception, right? Sometimes we have an idea of what we think something will look like when we set our intentions, but then it ends up being totally different and it's confusing for us. That kind of feels like that's what's happened here. Or again, it's like, I thought it would feel this way. Some of you, like I said, you're graduating. And there's like a sense of like, oh, you know, I thought about this as like, you know, I'd feel victorious and excited and confident. But as you're kind of contemplating these next steps, it's like, I don't feel that confident, right? I don't feel, you know, I don't feel like I'm that version of myself. Like, I don't feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Some of you, it's really weird because some of you, I'm almost getting this energy, it's about turning a year older. So I don't know if you recently, like in this past year, had a milestone birthday, or there's something where like a milestone amount of time has passed. Like, oh, you know, I've been in this, you know, I've been in this job for 5 years or something like that. It's like you hit a milestone. But this is where I feel like you guys are trying to figure out your path ahead, and you might not feel confident with the Two of Swords. Again, you're also, with the Two of Swords, it says that you're missing information or you're missing understanding. That's gonna come in. It's gonna help. Yeah, Knight of Swords. Some of you are literally missing information. This could be communication. This could be from a Gemini. We have strong Gemini in this as well. But you're missing information. We have the Moon at the bottom. Yeah, and you're having to kind of use your intuition to move through this like difficult time. Some of you guys just like, you're just having to take a leap of faith, and it's like, I literally don't know what waits for me on the other side, but like, I don't feel confident about it, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's kind of this sense of like, and running right at it, that the Knight of Swords can have sometimes. Some of you, it's like you put something out there, you said something with the Knight of Swords, and then you're kind of like faltering. You're like, your confidence is faltering. So like some of you, you applied for a new job and you felt good about it when you applied, and then you're like, oh, I don't know. Or you had an interview and you're like, I don't know how I did. There's that kind of a sense here, because there's a confidence that comes along with both. There's a confidence with the King of Wands, and the Knight of Swords, I guess, is confident. He just doesn't, like, he doesn't give a crap at all. He just does what he does because that's what he thinks is the right thing to do, regardless of how anybody else feels about it. So it feels like that might be an energy that you've operated in, or that you have sometimes. But with the King of Wands, you're doubting it a little bit this month. I do see that. It's going to be something about like, I don't know what waits up ahead. I don't know the right thing to say. I'm not sure. This is, quite simply, this is uncharted territory. So the Knight of Pentacles clarified by the Lovers means that there's a lot happening right now. Spirit wants to acknowledge that there's a lot up ahead, right? And you're going to be encouraged to kind of take it step by step by step with the Knight of Pentacles. Move slow, right? Dream big, move slow. And in every step, the question to ask yourself is going to be, what aligns with me, heart and soul? If you can ask yourself that question and be able to like do the work to honestly answer that, you can't go wrong. You will end up where you need to be. Some of you just need to know that even though everything is changing, you are being brought to what it is that your heart desires. Some of you, this is a relationship, right? And it's moving slow. It's going to take time to develop. It's going to take time to grow, but it will get there. I'm going to clarify. I'm going to pull one more clarifier. But for the most part, this is just really saying, just take it step by step. If you're moving in the direction of your heart's desires, you're doing it right. What is this Lover's energy? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. There is a divine timing aspect here. Cycles are, moving. Things are changing, right? It's blessed change with the Wheel of Fortune, but sometimes it still feels scary regardless. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles reversed, because some of you have to leave behind something you've invested a lot in, whether this is something you've chosen to leave behind, or that's just like, that's the luck of the draw. This is actually, whatever changes you're experiencing are a blessed change. Some of you have to make a choice between something that you've invested a lot in and a different path that would make you happier. Some of you are going to get an opportunity and you're going to have to choose, like, between something that you've poured a lot into or had a lot of potential versus something that really aligns with you, and it's a blessing from the universe, right? It aligns with you and it feels right. It feels like where you should be. And so there's a sense here of not being confident. I do see that as well with your decision, but in needing to make one anyway. Which is why your advice and encouragement this month is to really spend a lot of quality time as much as you can in solitude, in meditation, just being able to process your feelings without external noise, without other people's opinions. This is really all about what resonates with you in the heart and soul. Nobody else has to live with your choices, but nobody else gets to live your life. That's for you. It's a gift for you. Yeah, 4 of Wands. Some of you, this is about where you're going to live or a new home and strength. We have more Leo energy here. It feels like you already know what would make you happy, what would be good for you. And there's a sense here of like, right now, you're being led toward your 4 of Wands, right? Your happiness, your home, your soul family, your community, your people, you're on your way. And there's a sense where even though you're going through a scary part of the journey, a scary phase, what you're being encouraged to remember is what you're going toward, right? And to trust that the universe has heard what you're asking for and is delivering you there, even if you can't see the path ahead, which is always a little intimidating. So this is what I'm seeing for you guys for your month ahead. I hope that has been helpful. I want to thank you for sharing your time and energy with me today. And yeah, I hope you have a great month. So yeah, take care, friends. Bye.